Bibi Netanyahu making political history, becoming Israel's longest-serving prime minister. And millennials were a huge key to his victory. 65% of millennial conservatives in Israel supported this prime minister for his re-election bid. Here to win is Jonny. He's the founder and president of From the Depths, knows Israeli politics inside and out. I don't feel like Bibi Netanyahu's re-election has gotten enough coverage here in the U.S. press. I think part of it is because we don't understand the parliamentary system very well. But was this a big win for Bibi?
Yeah, well, first of all, it's a very confusing system out in Israel for people internationally. It was an absolutely epic victory for Prime Minister Netanyahu, and it really was a referendum on him as a person. Right, we saw a lot of the attacks on him from mainstream media in Israel and internationally. And what we saw was a huge victory for him, for the coalition partners, and bringing him, as you said, to be Israel's longest-serving prime minister.
And the left in Israel is it? I mean, it's been very marginalized. This was a center-right election, a referendum on Bibi Netanyahu. He's able to form a government. Why is the left so weak right now in Israel?
Well, I think what you find is a lot of Israelis live in reality, right? So we've all grown up as Israelis, and my children grew up as Israelis, seeing a very different reality to what Americans see growing up here. We live in a very, very tricky neighborhood. We don't have easy neighbors, as you well know, and as you showed brilliantly in the documentary Battle in the Holy City. Thank you very much for that, by the way. And what we see through that is we see that really people get a different kind of understanding as to what's going on the ground. And when that happens, people tend to go right. And people tend to see and understand, for example, the issue with the Palestinians, that we unfortunately don't have a partner. As much as we'd like to have a partner and have peace talks and live comfortably with our neighbors, if you don't have that opportunity, there's nothing much you can do.
It's easy to talk about a two-state solution and giving away land for peace if you don't live with the implications of that.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, land for peace, that notion died. It died with the disengagement from Gaza. All we've seen when we gave up land for nothing was bombs and missiles coming into Israel, hitting kindergartens, homes. And as a result of that, Israelis said, enough.
Absolutely.
We're not trying that again.
These numbers from the Wall Street Journal are really interesting. So in Israel, 65% of millennials showed support for Bibi Netanyahu. So 65% of millennials for the conservative. In the United States, that number is 27% that showed support for President Trump. He's obviously hoping to improve on that number. But you say that goes back to reality.
Well, it goes back to reality. And while students, you know, an 18-year-old in America is getting ready to go to college, he's being indoctrinated with a lot of, you know, liberal nonsense as opposed to how the world actually works from professors who never spent a real day in reality. And what we see in Israel is an 18-year-old is getting ready to serve in the army. He's getting ready to go to the military. He's getting ready to protect his country and to serve his country. And when that happens, automatically, your understanding becomes an understanding of reality, not some augmented idea of what the world could be.
Some utopia you think it will be.
Exactly.
How long will Bibi Netanyahu serve the term?
Well, the government now should be in place for the next 4 years if there's no falling coalition, which tends to be after 3.5 years, parties sort of pull away to try and make their own stand and their own platform. But we should have at least, hopefully, please God, another 4 years of Prime Minister.
Last thing, real quick. Trump and Netanyahu have done big things together. Anything in the preview of that relationship?
Well, look, I mean, this connection is unreal. We've never seen such a pro-Israel president. President Trump has been remarkable for Israel. If it's been moving the embassy to Jerusalem, as you showed in your documentary, or recognizing the Golan Heights and the understanding, you know, this has been the most pro-Israel president in the United States history, and we as Israelis are incredibly grateful to President Trump for that.
Jonny, thank you very much for your time. Good stuff.